Okay, welcome to my Mac, folks. I'm going to do this one on Mac just because I can. I have just gone through the cloud platform, and if I go back to my navigation menu here, I have gone ahead and pinned, as you can see here, this compute engine. And when I go to that, I go to VM instances here, and this just gets me the create. You may have to go through some things, and I have a notification here. Okay, let's create ourselves a virtual machine. This is not very difficult at all, but I know some of you have not done this before, so I'm going to go ahead and walk through it. This is my Google Cloud platform, and I'm going to call this one CPTR 446. I am going to just use the simple micro SD one. I have $300 of free trial credits, so I could go with something a little bit more than this if I want to. If I do this one here, it's about $26 a month, but I'm not going to leave mine running, okay? So I'll shut it off, and if I'm not running it, then I don't pay for it. So at this point, take your pick, or pick your poison, however you want to do it. I'm going to start off with a micro SD instance, and we'll see how it goes from there. I do want to change this from Debian, because I'm not going to go too much away from Debian. I'm actually going to try the Ubuntu 1804 LTS minimal, okay, because I don't have that much stuff on there, and it doesn't matter. Let's go with the 1804 LTS, just a standard one here, and I'll select that. At this point, I don't change the service account. The access scope should be allow default traffic. The only other thing that I'm going to change here is I am going to allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic. If you want to, you can manage the security, disk networking, and sole tenancy, tenancy. Okay, so in this particular case here, you'll notice that I don't have any tags or anything associated with that. So I've not going to actually create an external IP address yet. So let me just go ahead and create this instance. Alright, so I've created it now, and at this point I can actually go in and SSH into it. So let's do that, and when I do that, it's just going to pull this up, and you'll notice it's going to say transferring SSH keys to VM. So it's actually in the process of doing a login via SSH using particular keys. Now it's establishing the connection to the SSH server, so it's creating and using its own keys through the web service. And at this point, I now have a virtual machine, and we're up and running. So if I just ls, and by the way, I am logged in as Scott at CPTR 446. So if I need to be root, I can say sudo right away, and I don't even have to type anything in because I'm doing this using keys, and I have a platform up and ready to go. So the next thing that we'll need to do actually is to install some things on this platform and see if we can't get a simple .NET Core program running on it. Okay, so this is my first time installing the .NET framework on a Linux machine, so it ought to be interesting for all of us. These are the instructions on Microsoft's page right here for the SDK current. So I'm going to go ahead and just follow these instructions, and to do that, I am going to go over to the compute engine and pull up the SSH over here. And while I'm doing that, I'll just run this as well. Wow. Let's make this small. There we go. Good enough. Okay. So in this instance, I'm I need to sudo su to get into root, and I'm going to do a cd and hit enter just to go back to the home directory for root. At this point, I'm going to do the wget q https://packages.microsoft.com/config/ubuntu/18.04/packages dash Microsoft. Just wanted to do .com there. prod.deb. Okay, so it looks good to me. So let me go ahead and wget that. So I've got it. There it is. Sudo. No, I don't need to say sudo because I'm a root. dpkg-i packages prod.deb. Okay, setting packages, so we've got it there. Then all we need to do is apt-get install apt-transport-https. Okay. This says note, selecting apt instead of apt-transport.https. Apt is already newest version. The following packages were automatically installed and is no longer required. Okay. Apt-get update. Let's just do that. Okay, I don't know. I'm going to try that again. Install apt-transport-https, and it may just tell me no, don't bother. Okay, got it that time. Maybe I misspelled it last time, I don't know. apt-get update. And just because I'm install .NET-SDK-2.1. It says you need 130. Well, do you want to do this? Yes, of course I do. And so that's going to go through and install all of those packages that are required there. And that's all there is over here. While that's doing that, we'll go back and look at it to make sure. But we would like to do a hello world in 10 minutes. So let's see if we can get this. Interestingly enough, we have to open a new command prompt and run the following command: .NET new console-myapp cd myapp. Okay, the .NET command creates a new application of type console for you. The -o creates the directory where your server populates with required files. The CD. Okay. Alright, so that ought to be pretty simple and straightforward. This command is running to populate your local package cache to improve, restore speed, and enable offline access. This command takes up to 1 minute to complete and only runs once. Oh well, isn't that good? Alright. So this is going to be a console application, so that's fine. I don't mind. And we'll see what we got here. Probably should cut out all of this stuff while we're waiting for it to finish. I hope it's not doing anything. Doesn't include command line arguments. Isolating the environment variable. to 1 or true using your favorite shell. You can opt out. Okay. So that's kind of important, actually. Da 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 da. So the first thing I'm going to try is do a .NET new console -O. Yep, -O. Sorry, my eyesight's getting a little bad there. And we're just going to call this the hello world. Okay. Now this should actually go through and create everything for me, and I should now be able to change directories into hello world and see everything there. And at this point, I'm just going to nano the, whoops, Control X, no, nano program.cs, and I'm just going to go in here. There it is. No need to change it, actually. So at this point, I just need to say .NET, and if I look over here, I'm just going to say run. Okay. I'm not sure that that is the best way of doing this, but there it is. There it is. Unbelievable. Okay, now there is a bin directory that didn't used to be there, so clearly that's showing me some information. There's a DLL, believe it or not, and hello world JSON. Okay, so that's all we need for this part of it, and we've now proved that the .NET Core works. Let's work on getting our first .NET web server up and running. So in this little tutorial here, I'm just going to show you how to update your system to have its own external IP address. You'll notice that right now this says that it has an external IP address. By the way, I just went into VM instances, and this is my 446, and it says I have an external IP address of 35.196.122.232. But that's probably not going to stay that way. It'll change from time to time because it's probably an ephemeral address. And so if you look down here on the network interfaces and down here, you'll see it does show that, and it says that it's ephemeral. Now, if you don't know what that means it is time dependent. It's not going to stay that way. You're going to get whatever is available at the moment. So one way to do that is to change that so that we have a static IP address, is to go ahead and edit this and scroll down until you find information about the network. Let's see. So let's change that a little bit. And let's change this to a stat. Oh, no, we don't care about that. Cancel that. the external IP address, we would like to create one. So again, this is, I'm just going to name this the same thing I have. Description, this is static IP for CPTR 446. 2018 project. Okay, that's a good question. Traffic enters and exits the Google network at a peering point closest to the cloud region is destined for or originated in. And this would say traffic traverses Google's high-quality global backbone, entering and exit at Google Edge peering points closest to the user. I really don't care which one it is. It looks like they're doing the standard to be not the default one. And so you can go and read about this. High performance, lower performance network. Network service such as cloud, load balances are global, single VIP for backend multi-regions. Network service such as cloud load balances are regional, one VIP per region. High performance and reliability, low latency, global SLA. That's the service level agreement. Availability comparable to other public cloud providers, lower than premium, no global SLA. Use case, performance, reliability, global footprint, and user experience are your main concerns. Cost is your main consideration, and you're willing to trade off some network performance for blah blah blah. So clearly we want to use standard. So that's fine. I'll just reserve a standard one. And now I'll have a static IP for this. Now you didn't have to do that. You could have just gone through and used a regular IP address. But now I have a 35.211.68.247, and that will forevermore, until I delete it, be my static IP address. So I'm just going to click Done on this case here and scroll the page up until I get to save, and then I'll save it, and I'll have a static instance there. Now I'll have a static IP. And I should be able to go back now. Back to the view instances here. Okay, now we have that static IP and it no longer says ephemeral next to it, so we're good to go.